Hey guys, how's it going? Nick is here once again as always, and I am at the Yiwu International Market. Now, although I had some technical difficulties, as you can see, I have to hold my mic and record this on my phone because my main camera had failed me. However, I couldn't miss this chance to record a proper video for the channel and telling you about what I think about Yiwu Market, because I think on my second run around, it has changed. So my first impression originally when I got here, it was awesome. Like, I loved it. I thought that this was the mecca of Amazon because you can go anywhere, basically in any one of these booths, as you can see, and you can basically find, any kind of product depending on the floor and the place that you go. A lot of these are trading companies, so they have trading stock on hand. And so what they'll do is they will give you maybe, 200-300 units at factory prices, depending on who you go to. You can price it out. You can basically make a deal within a day rather than, looking at Alibaba forever, trying to come up with what you need, contacting the suppliers back and forth. Like, you can literally sit down here, especially if you have a translator, you can sit down here and you can talk to them and actually tell them what you need, how you need it, how you want it. A lot of these factories actually, not a lot, but quite a few of them actually have factories right around the city of Yiwu. So the trading center, you negotiate with them here, or you talk with them here, and then they'll take you to the factory right away, which is perfect. However, on my second run around here, I have formed a bit of a more mature opinion of it. And I think that given the choice between the Yiwu Market and the online tools such as Alibaba, I think I would still go with Alibaba. Reason why is because, number one, it's kind of like any market. Like, you can be optimistic and in theory it works really well, but then you decide to come here, and you go kind of like booth to booth. And unless you really know what you're going after, there's a lot of ways to distract you. I think one of the big things that Yiwu has over Alibaba is that you can wander around and you can find those little hidden gems and you can find products that you would normally not think about. Whereas on Alibaba, it's like you type in the keywords exactly what you're looking for, and if you just do your search properly, and if you have a guy or girl in China or you're located in China yourself, you can then go and visit those factories. And I think that's kind of the method that I prefer rather than going. So like I've been looking for very specific products, 3 very specific products that I wanted to launch out of Yiwu and try 200-300 units or so in Amazon, and wandering around the floor, the beauty and cosmetics floor, for the past 2 days. I haven't actually even found anything close resembling that. There's a lot of makeup, a lot of these like very generic creams, whereas the items that I look for are very niche, and they're very niche down for like a very specific audience. So I haven't been able to find what I was looking for, and I think that's when I started to realize that Yiwu is a commodities market. This is more or less a place where if you have like a general item that you just want to launch and test and maybe put your own label on without much customization, this is probably a good place if you find the right supplier, because I think 90% of these booths are trading markets or basically trading companies that will act as middlemen to factories making products that you want to launch. Whereas on Alibaba, you can kind of differentiate between trading companies and factories, and you can go straight to the source, meaning you'll get a better price for higher quantity ordered. The downside with Alibaba is that a lot of the times they will not go below 500 or 1,000 minimum order quantity, which if you're just starting could be really tough. So I think that both have their strengths and weaknesses. Both have their ups and downs. I think Yiwu is good for finding those hidden gems. It's good if you have a translator or you speak Mandarin yourself. Whereas on Alibaba, you can just exchange WeChat and WeChat will automatically translate for you. Like for the past 2 days, I've been using Google Translator app where I would talk into it, it would translate, then they talk into it. But it's not as easy. The process gets dragged out a lot longer, and it's not as easy when you're just sitting there going back and forth with these translations and you're trying to explain yourself and you're trying to, ask them not even about QC, you're just trying to ask them about the product, and at the same time, negotiating prices and trying to get a good price it's pretty much similar as on Alibaba, because they'll give you one price, then you have to go somewhere else to look for a better price, or you have to say this is not a good price, we want something lower, blah blah. So negotiation with someone who does not speak your language and you don't speak their language becomes a lot harder, especially when people are kind of wandering into these little mini stores, and then their attention is divided between 2 customers, and they're not fully engaged because they don't know if you're going to order or not. You're just kind of there, you know, hanging out with a foreigner with no language. Like, the sellers here, I find, are very, you know, one-time order, quick make a deal kind of thing, where it's like, if this is requiring more work than just me telling you how much it is and you making an order, I don't care. Like, go away. So I got a feeling that, you know, if there's nobody in the store, we could kind of back and forth negotiate something or like talk about something. But if somebody else walks in, they're just like, and they're Chinese especially, or they have a Chinese translator, they'll try to like go after that person more than they would, for example, after a customer like me who doesn't have a Chinese translator. So, you know, all in all, I think it's definitely worth a visit. Definitely going to be back here, but I think as I'm going along, I'm finding out that if you're gonna build a brand, if you're gonna look at it long term, I think you should avoid commodity markets like this. I think you should go for specialty products, and you should be building out your white label product brand on Amazon by finding suppliers and by actually making a order of 500 to 1,000 units, or maybe negotiating with them of paying a little bit more, but getting that 200, 300, unit minimum order quantity, because it's extremely difficult to do that when you don't have a relationship with the factory, and if you're doing it online. But if you show up in person, I think that there's something that could be done with that, especially if you say like WeChat, you start talking to them on WeChat. That's like one 80-20 thing that I found. If you just switch over to WeChat, they become a lot more friendlier, a lot more receptive to you. And then if you have the ability to actually visit them in person in China, that makes all the difference. And I think that it's really worth considering. If you're in just starting out, or you just saw some early success in the physical product market, either through Amazon or through your own website or even your own store, I think it's 100% worth coming to China and staying here for a prolonged period of time to get to know the game that they play here, get to know how to negotiate with people, and hitting the markets such as this, because you never know what you're going to find. So half the battle is showing up. So of course I'm going to be including a bunch of videos of me walking through the market, still kind of enjoying my day. I'm going to be heading off to Guangzhou pretty soon, because I only got about 20 days left before I got to go to Japan, and a lot of things need to get done, as always, in terms of YouTube, and also in terms of signing contracts with new suppliers and launching more products. So I hope you guys got some value out of this. As always, give it a like. I'd love to hear what you thought about the video in the comments down below, and stay awesome.